Hey guys, and welcome to the now annual Holiday 2-Bit review. And this year I think I'm going to do a game that reminds me a lot of the holidays. And that game is Army Men Sarges Heroes. Now I didn't just choose this game because one of the levels has you battling through a Christmas tree. I chose it because the main premise of the game is toys. Now for me, Christmas was the one time a year I would get all the toys I'd been dreaming of having. And I remember Christmas morning getting those toys and just getting lost in my own world with these toys and characters and what have you. And I really feel that Sarges Heroes encompasses that feeling and spirit that I had as a child on Christmas morning. Army Men Sarges Heroes is an action third-person shooter and was published and developed by 3DO for the Nintendo 64 and was released in 1999. It was later ported to the PlayStation, Dreamcast, and PC in 2000. The version we'll be reviewing today is the Nintendo 64 version. Army Men Sarges Heroes is a lighthearted take on the Army Men franchise, which was known to be a bit more grittier and darker. Now it's set in its own alternate universe opposite the main series, which was Army Men 2, and Toys in Space. Sarges Heroes, when it was released, was met with mixed reviews and some criticism, but even with that, it was a commercial success and spawned its own sequel in 2001 called Sarges Heroes 2. Now with these tidbits out of the way, let's march into this review, soldiers. Like a few games on the Nintendo 64, the controls are stiff and sluggish, but not unplayable, and what I mean by that is when you're moving around, shooting, jumping, etc., I noticed a slight delay between my reaction time on the controller and the character's movement on the screen. It is slightly annoying, but once you get into the game's groove, it's a non-issue. This game features an auto-aim function that works decently at mid-range, but is terrible at far and close range, as Sarge will hit everything around the target but the target itself. Fortunately, this game also has a first-person view that you can click in and out of when you want to make that critical shot without the auto-aim's inaccuracy. A cool ability in this game is your character can go from a standing position to crouched and prone positions. Not a common ability for console shooters back in this era, but because of said stiff controls, I would just run behind an object for cover instead of going prone or crouching. The AI is fairly stupid. They will either ignore you if you're a certain radius away from them, even if you're shooting at them, or they will blindly charge into your fire without trying to get into cover. The AI does offer some challenge, namely a numerical superiority against your one character, but with these glaring flaws, it'll help you get past certain portions of the levels on luck and glitchiness instead of skill alone. Sarges Heroes has a multiplayer mode that is fairly fun and gives this game an extra life after the campaign is complete. It's a good game for you to have some friends over for multiplayer fun and competitiveness. With flawed and sluggish controls combined with a relatively challenging game and fun multiplayer, I would give Sarges Heroes gameplay 2 bits out of 4. The music is decent, has a very classic war movie aesthetic to the soundtrack. The voice work, or I should actually say lack thereof, sounds a bit compressed, but honestly this was the norm for the Nintendo 64's cart-based format. Sarges Heroes sound isn't awful, but it also doesn't offer anything memorable aside from its awesome main theme. So Sarges Heroes sound gets 2 bits out of 4. This is a great looking 64 game. Like a lot of the late Nintendo 64 releases, it really shows what the N64 was capable of graphically, even though its cartridge-based format held it back in other departments. The game starts and Sarge wakes up to find himself in the midst of a Tan invasion. He rescues Colonel Grimm and they set out to find the rest of Bravo Company. While on a helicopter, Sarge and Grimm spot a blue tank and spy in a nearby town. Sarge then follows the blue spy through the portal, which transports him from the Army Men world to our world, the real world, and captures him. When General Plastro, the antagonist to the game, finds out that Sarge has captured the blue spy and discovered a portal, he gets furious. Plastro then sends footage of green soldiers being tortured by a death ray, which is actually a magnifying glass. After reviewing this footage, Sarge then sets out to reunite his squad and defeat Plastro. And that's a good portion of the game's levels, is Sarge rescuing his squad. He begins by rescuing Bazooka Man Riff, then Minesweeper Hoover, and then Machine Gunner Thick. Meanwhile, Vicky Grimm, who is Colonel Grimm's daughter, convenient, sneaks away into the Black Forest where she is captured by Tan soldiers. While Vicky is being interrogated, she proposes to help General Plastro win the war. I sense a twist. After these events, Sarge is then sent to rescue Shrap in the Gulag. There, Sarge releases Grey prisoners who in turn help him fight the Tan. Sarge is surprised and appalled when he finds out the Tan are turning green and gray soldiers into spiders. After Shrap is rescued, Sarge is then sent to Fort Plastro to destroy another portal. Sarge learns that Vicky is with the Tan army and helping Plastro. He's then thrown into a sandbox and left to die. As he fights his way through the sandbox, he finds Scorch, who tells him that Vicky is just deceiving Plastro and tells him about Plastro's plans. Armed with this knowledge, Sarge and the Green Army attack Fort Plastro, and Plastro learns that Vicky was just using him, so he abducts her. Sarge then has to fight his way through the sandbox again and a kitchen to save her, and then fight through a festive-themed living room and a bathroom to escape. In the bathroom, Sarge is stopped by Plastro, who begins to gloat and thinks that he has won just before he's taken away by the house pet dog, a poodle. After spotting the last portal, Sarge and Vicky escape, blow it up, and then are reunited with the rest of Bravo Company and Colonel Grimm. It's a simple, straightforward plot, and while yes, it isn't epic in scope or deep in narrative, it gets the job done. With great graphics for its time, combined with a simplistic story arc, Sarge's Heroes gets 2 bits out of 4. Sarge's Heroes is a decent game, but nothing groundbreaking, and its flaws definitely hold it back quite a bit. My final verdict for Army Men Sarge's Heroes is a look, but not necessarily buy, for the collector and casual owner of the Nintendo 64. It's a fun little game that'll give you a nice little playthrough. Now, I hope you all have a happy and wonderful holiday season, and here's to 2017, because 2016, you sucked. You sucked bad. As always, guys, I'm 2-Bit Jesus saying stay safe and play on.